Hello everyone, welcome back to Lab 1. Today we're doing Objective 6, which deals with the add months function. So we're going to go through a couple of examples just so that we can become very familiar. You might encounter a couple scenarios where you might need to use the add months function, and it's really useful to be able to know exactly how it works. So let's go ahead and dive into the SQL code. So let's start off with a very basic example. Now, in this one, I'm going to be doing sysdate, and then I'm also going to use the add months function. So it's very simple. It takes a date, and then it adds this number of months to the date. But it can be a little bit more complex. It's very simple, but there are a couple things that are very important to recognize. So here's the result. So we have today's date, the 5th of June of 2020. Now, if we take 1 month, we would expect the 5th of July, which is what we have, 5th of July 2020. Very simple. 1 month from today. Now let's do something a little bit different. What if the date that we put in was at the very end of May? That would be the 31st. Now let's think about this. What's a month after the 31st of May? Is it the 30th of June? Would it be the 1st of July? Because there's no 31st of June, we'd probably say that it's just June 30th, right? And that's exactly what we get. And sometimes you might not think of these scenarios until you're there, and suddenly you don't know exactly what to expect. So it's good to know what to expect. So in this situation, on the last day, if that number is greater than the last day of the following month, it just goes to the last day. Let's actually look at another example. This one, on the other hand, let's say the 28th of February, right? What's a month after that? Is it the 28th of March because it's the same day of the month, only 1 month after? Or would it assume that because the 28th is the last day of February, would it go to the last day of March as the 31st? As you'd probably guess, it picks March 28th, and it's not March 31st. And this is actually pretty logical, but it's important once again to just specify this so we know instead of guess. Finally, we're going to go ahead and do something really interesting. In this situation, we tried to add 1.99 days. And what happened, right? So not days, I apologize, months. So would this round up and go to 2? The answer is no. This only accepts integers. So let's actually do one more example. This is not something we've gone over, but what happens if you did a negative month? And as you might expect, it goes backwards. So that's a final example. That's pretty much it. The add months function is actually very simple, but it's important to go through a couple of these nuances just so that if you ever encounter a question and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I'm not 100% sure, a little bit of practice can go a long way. We'll see you guys in the next objective.